Hey, we're live.
Hey, it's Jess the Ska Kid, and as promised, this is the interview portion of the show here at Palace de Chile Reno. And we have a combo interview because we have Bare Bones and we have Castle Black here with us. And they are on tour from New York and Michigan. So we'll start with introductions. We'll start over here.
My name is Mitch. I'm the guitarist and singer of Bare Bones.
I'm Susan. I play bass and backup vocals in Castle Black.
I'm Lee. I'm the singer and guitarist in Castle Black.
I'm Joey. I play drums in Bare Bones and in Castle Black.
Yay! And to just do a quick recap, back in January, we had Leah on the phone with us. We did a phone interview where we talked about who Castle Black was and that they are all going on tour. And now that has come to fruition. So let's do like a mini from past to present. Since we've talked to you in January, you left to do this tour when?
We left Friday. Started in Detroit, had a show in Metro Detroit. Well, we were in Grand Rapids last night. Here we are in Wisconsin today, and we're hitting the road. I don't know where we're going. Ohio, Virginia, North Carolina, I don't know. Indiana, all the hits.
Upstate New York. It's a weird route.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all over the place.
Your route was like we're doing this thing. Yeah.
Going to Tennessee.
We don't really save on gas, so.
No,
yeah.
yeah. Wherever people will have us.
So how has tour been so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
Yeah, good.
Like good turnouts, good venues, like people are hospitable. What does good mean?
People seem to be very appreciative
Sure.
and very genuine, which is really nice because, you want to get people who are naturally into your music and, they're very sincere about it.
Last night was cool. I mean, it was only day 3, so it's, but
Still
Grand
pretty
Rapids was great.
So we
That
caught
was
you
really
guys
good.
fresh.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not road worn yet.
Road worn. How many days left on tour do you have?
16? 15.
17 total, so yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to do math myself.
You and us
This
both.
is the only day with 2 shows. So
Gotcha.
Double
8
header.
shows, but yeah.
But even in the past, it seems like people are really sincere and it's a good feeling.
Good. Do you guys have, so tonight you have Bremen Cafe,
In Milwaukee.
and that is at 9? Does that start?
It should start at 9, yeah.
It should.
Yeah.
I like
Should.
that you said should.
Punk time.
It will start at 9. They're late. We were talking about it before. They tend to start the shows pretty late, but 9 o'clock.
With the places you've played prior, is that just a sort of pandemic of the Midwest where people don't start on time? Or is that a theme that goes on throughout the other places you've played?
I think it's a mix. I think the weirdest was in Norfolk or Virginia Beach last tour. It was a Monday night, and they didn't start till
It seemed like the show's never going to start.
10:30.
Yeah.
The first band. There were 4 bands.
It's like a beach
It was
town.
Monday night.
Very relaxed.
We're just like, when are we gonna start? Like, what's going on? We gotta get it. It was,
Is it stressful when you get to a place and you're like, we're supposed to start now and we're just hanging out?
It's all pretty relaxing. I
think
don't know how
depends
stressful
on-
it ever really
depends
gets.
on what's going on. But I think it's also like New York per venue. Like some venues are very much on time, and some are not so.
Every Chicago show we've been to has started like, if not early, on time exactly,
That's
and
good to know.
set times are this, and you get off and you do your thing. Like, they have a curfew in Chicago, and so most shows have to be done by, if it's during the weekday, 11, and I think even weekends it's like 12:30.
I've seen on flyers advertise like 6 p.m. in parentheses not punk time. Like they need to specify that it's not punk time because otherwise the assumed thing is that it's going to be running an hour or 2 late.
And tonight you are playing with 2 other supporting acts, correct? You've
Yeah.
got the Dead Morticians and
Video dead.
Video Dead.
A lot of dead ass
It's
bands.
a nice thing.
Dead ass.
Theme.
It's not Bare Bones. Oh.
Bones!
Hey!
Bones, Dad, Morticia.
Right, you all could dress up as skeletons.
Sure.
Right? So do you guys have, if anybody is watching and is like, oh, is there a cover tonight for tonight's show? Or are you making up a lot of your profit by selling merchandise? And if so, what do you have for merch to sell?
Good question.
I mean, tonight's free, so Milwaukee.
So you don't
show.
have an excuse.
Yeah, they do give us a cut of the bar just so you don't feel bad for us. Bremen Cafe is super, super nice to the bands, and they give us free beer. But yeah. but we have merch. We have T-shirts and CDs and vinyl. So
Wow, you have vinyl?
it's a lathe cut record, so it's like it's like cheaper vinyl, but people still
You're
love
good.
it. Yeah.
That's like the best merch item. It has a picture of your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bare Bones has merch too.
We have merch also.
What kind of merch do you have?
We have shirts and we have CDs that we just started giving away for free. It's a full-length CD.
Awesome.
Just want people to listen to it. So
Their
Get it the fuck out
baseball
there.
tee is awesome. They're really
You have
underrated.
a
very comfy.
baseball tee?
It's
we
really
sell them, and people before they even listen to us will buy them because they look. Just a baseball tee. You don't see it every day.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
No.
That's a very good, like,
Yeah,
kind
nice little feather in our cap.
just
We might be
sneaking
terrible, but we got a baseball tee.
I said about a flask from a band.
You bought a
Yeah,
flask?
last
A
night.
wooden flask.
That was
So I thought that
Wooden?
was a wooden flask.
So when you're done drinking and you've now lost your way home, you're cold, you just start that shit on fire.
that.
Right? Like if you get lost in the woods,
That's right.
you're prepared.
That's right.
Oh my
That's the thought
goodness.
behind it.
So,
It's gone.
I think last time we talked, you were gonna do this, and then you had talked about also doing some recording stuff. So where are we in the flux of that?
So we just recorded 3 new songs. They're being mastered right now. So those are pretty much done, and that's going to make up part A of the We Love Friday and Part B album. So it's going to make up part A of the next EP. So we may release that first, and then there's going to be 2 more recorded, probably May or June, and then I'll make up the full 5-song EP.
And how about Bare Bones?
Oh no,
Good question.
it's a great question. We'll see.
You'll see. You have one right now, though.
We have a full length out. Yeah, you can download it for free. We have a website. We have a Bandcamp. We have a Facebook, and all our music's for free everywhere on all those things. So, yeah.
So how, I know that you two know each other, and that's how this came to be, yes?
Well, Castle Black and Bare Bones, those worlds collided last July. We played a show together when Castle Black was coming through Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And then through there, I sort of kept in contact. We kept in contact, and they needed a drummer for a tour, and that's what November was. Bare Bones and Castle Black went on tour together, and then from there, I just stayed in Castle Black and Bare Bones both, and here we are doing it again.
Wow. So then after this, and you come back after doing a 17-day tour, what is the projected outlook for both of your groups? Like, what's the goal after? Like, will this continue to be a thing? Will people be able to continually see both of these bands on tour together later on in the year? Or will you guys be doing your own thing and you guys be doing your own thing? Or what are your goals? What does it look like after March?
Well, we have Castle Black has an April 8-day run set up in April, and I hope we go out together again. I mean, for us, we've been trying to go out on a bigger thing, 2-3 weeks, every 3 to 4 months. So that's the goal, and we love playing with them. So if it works out with their schedule, then definitely.
So, because we didn't get to talk to you guys before, now it would seem a little logistically difficult to play out, but what is your following in Michigan?
We do have a couple dates in Michigan booked through the next couple months. We have a date in April, and we have one in May. And then from there, it's kind of up in the air. We'll see where we go. We'll probably have to get drunk and hash some stuff out.
That's
Right?
the best planning.
Yeah.
Then you show up to
Record
the
it, so
thing.
you remember
Yeah.
Right.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Whenever Mitch's day off is, we'll have get good and drunk, figure out what Bare Bones'
Is it
trajectory is.
for you, because you're doing double duty, is it easy or difficult to schedule, perform, do all of these things for 2 different groups?
Mostly difficult, but once we get it all set up, it's nice and easy that can knock both of them out at the same time. It's difficult in that it's physically exhausting to play 2 sets every night, or 4 sets in the case of today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But we appreciate you coming and stopping
I'm
with
so
us going to
appreciative
Milwaukee.
to be here, yeah.
We got cool, fun story. So the First Rule, who will be playing with these guys with Voice of Addiction, they're from Chicago. First Rule's from KenoSka, are joining up with these guys in Indy for one of their dates. And they had seen this, and they were like, let's bring them pizza. So they got fed today, too, from another band they'll be playing with.
Yeah, shout out to that band.
Yeah,
It's very sweet.
they have been on our show, 1, 2, 3, a few times. They're I don't know, I guess now we have house bands, but because they're local and they've, did the radio show before and they've come on and they've helped orchestrate different fests, they just seem to keep bringing us pizza. That's how we met them. They do. Like it was like 3:30 in the morning. We ordered toppers one day and they showed up and they're like, "You're just the Ska Kid. We have tickets for an upcoming show. Can we give these to you? Will you talk about them?" And I was like, "I just want my pizza at 3:30 in the morning." But yes, I will talk about them. And from then, a friendship was blossomed. So they're good guys.
First rule.
Yes, and
Shout out.
Voice of Addiction is I would say, pretty big Chicago band. So your indie night should be good.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So with Bare Bones, you guys, like you said, are on Bandcamp and such things. Talk a little about your full length. Who recorded it, or do you go to a different person to have it recorded versus mastered, and how does that work?
We did the whole thing in White Lake. It's by Dreadcore Productions. So just a 10-song full length. Just he recorded, mixed, and mastered everything. It's
Great guy.
Yeah.
Joshua Wickman over at Dreadcore Productions.
Joshua Wickman.
Shout out.
So now the CDs that you have to give out are from, like, did you guys print them, or did you have somebody do them?
We had them printed, so they're real deal CDs. We went through a distributor, which I know you've already slammed. So I don't want to say too much about it, 'cause I'm sure we'll get shit on.
We don't want to talk about it! It hurts our feelings!
We don't own any of her music probably because of it, so whatever.
You're allowed to create and still play, you just can't publish the same thing over and over again. So we'll
Yeah.
see if these things got flagged. We got kicked off of Facebook when we did your show.
That's great.
So, I mean, all press is good press, I guess. That's, I guess, my thing. But what about artwork? Who does your artwork?
We've got a buddy, Nate Cieslak. His art stuff is called Red Devil Made This. He's out of Michigan, Metro Detroit, and he does pretty much all of our artwork. He does both. We have 2 shirt designs. He did both. Our album artwork was done by him. He's a great artist. Great
Is it
dude.
easy or difficult to play music in Michigan?
Kind of difficult, I would say. There's not quite as many opportunities. It sounds like now that I'm hearing what it's like out in Brooklyn and whatnot.
Yeah,
Probably a
it's-
little more difficult. Mainly, all of our shows are just like touring bands that ask us to hop on the show.
Oh.
Like we don't really do much booking ourselves.
So you end up playing with the same, at most, 10 bands. You can kind of learn the scene pretty quickly. It's just, pretty small.
That sounds really
That
small.
or we're dumb as hell, which is also... there's probably more than 10 bands in Detroit.
Well, from
A
what
mix of those two things, we'll say.
I think you would probably be our first Michigan band. I know of one other Detroit band.
Who's that?
Khalid.
Kid Rock.
No,
Oh,
help me.
Choking Susan.
Choking Susan. There you go.
We know.
Yes.
Bob just, the drummer just came. He's a brother of a friend of ours. He just came to the. You guys met Bob.
Bob.
Was that the
Oh,
Choking
Detroit
Susan.
show?
Yeah.
They're
Yay.
big.
See?
Okay. They played in New York, and we know them. We
Glitter
know Bob.
Trash used to be, but they moved out to LA. Yeah. I played with
The big
Glitter
leagues.
Trash in Chicago. Yeah, but it's like if you're gonna chase that dream, they're legit starving artists at this point. We need a show so we can pay rent. So support underground music, goddammit.
Sure.
Do that
Please
thing.
do that, yeah.
And you have a plethora of music up and available on different platforms all over the place, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. And we went through and we played samples from everything that was available there. You guys, do you have a website?
We do, castleblackmusic.com.
So how did you come up with your band names?
We were just talking about that
I
today.
asked you that today in the car.
Yeah.
Same question.
You want to go?
Well, Bare Bones was just a play on just the term B-A-R-E bones, since we're just a 2-piece band. I just flipped it around.
Sure.
Oh, so you didn't say that today. That makes more sense. Yeah.
I thought that was explained.
I
know.
love
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Exactly
I
what
was
he
probably tired.
said.
I was probably tired.
There's been only
Yeah.
a couple other 2-piece bands that have such a full, rich sound. You guys are excellent. You don't need anybody else because you sound so full in and of yourself. How did you come up with the idea to be a two-piece? Where does Bare Bones come from?
We've tried other iterations of this band with more than 2 people, but man, if being in a band with only 2 people isn't the easiest dang thing ever. Like, booking shows and scheduling practices is just, like, as easy as, like, do you want to hang out? Then it's just, like, one of us is over to the other person's house, and then it's like, okay, well, this is the whole band.
Yeah, this part just like convenience, but also just like really like simple raw things just in general. So.
Yeah.
How would you describe you guys? Like, listening to you today, I would say you're rock and roll, but like,
It's pretty much the gist of it.
yeah, like,
You can, this is a bunch of different influences of like a lot of different things. So,
what are your influences?
like
Nirvana.
top 3 bands maybe, like that kind of.
See, I love that people have to give themselves an itemized list. I don't care. I don't have a limit. Who are your influences?
For me, like Nirvana, White Stripes, and Every Time I Die. Are like my 3
Yeah.
like main influences.
Definitely, those are the 3 bands that I feel like are channeled most through Bare Bones, as far as influences go, yeah.
And how about Castle Black? How did you get that name?
It is a Game of Thrones reference, but I was reading the books right before the show kind of came about, and yeah, I mean, like I've always like taken names from things. I even named dogs and stuff, so like something that I like reading, and that just happened to be around that time. So
I love that we have had the opportunity to have you live on the show because watching you play, I mean, I loved listening to the stuff that we played off of Bandcamp. It was very well mixed, mastered, and produced, but you sound excellent live as well, and I think it's important for people to see, look it, we got females in music, and that's important and significant since we just had International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Look at it, we're coming full circle on all sorts of stuff. How easy is it to be women in music?
I'll
Or
take this
difficult?
one.
it's like that.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, it's I don't know. I'm
That's
really,
a perfect example.
Yeah, I know.
That was well segued.
I'm really not quick to like make things a male-female thing. Like, although I am a feminist, and obviously like, but it's like what to be a feminist. Like, it's such a weird concept because like, right, it's like a basic human thing. So I don't know. It is hard at times though, and that's like the reality. It's like we had an experience in Nashville where the sound person who was a man. I at first wasn't going to say that he was treating me differently because of being a woman, but we talked about it. He just like ignored every request we had, laughed at requests.
It was crazy because we each had the same experience,
Yeah.
but we didn't tell each other.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, should I say something? I wonder. And then we shared, and we're like, yeah, it was crazy. And even the drummer, our male drummer, noticed it too.
Did they go to him and they were like,
Yeah, they
hey,
treat him like
by
super
the way,
great.
should we mic these guys? You mean the band? Yes.
He said, "That's my kind of guy," and we're like, "What does that mean?" And then Matt had done nothing. It was Matt at the time, and done nothing like to get that comment or to like. It was the weirdest thing, and we're like,
That's
"What
my
does that
kind of
mean?"
guy.
Yeah.
Male.
And I played it where I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of bothering me, so I just kind of laughed everything he said, like not in a.
Meanwhile, I was like stewing. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Hate this
we
guy."
handled
And I'm
it
like, "Give me more
differently.
vocals." Like,
But
yeah,
he was
it's-
both effective. I was like, you're not gonna get to me, but I think hers way was effective.
It's just like unfortunate you do with certain people you have to prove yourself 1,000 times more. But that's like with any kind of minority or just whatever.
Right, because like you are the driving force behind this. Like, I'm glad that you keep, time.
Sure. That's
But-
all you're good for, though.
And you slayed on the drums, my friend, but watching you play bass, I'm watching you and I'm like, oh, like the Kiff's in a band called The Scraps, and their bass player also does the and he's like way into it, and I'm watching you and I'm like, this is the female equivalent. And it's so good. Like, you love your instrument and it shows through in playing that. And that is, really enjoyable to watch. And I think that oftentimes girls do get, oh, that's cute, you got an instrument. Like, that's nice, but it's important that you, both can play it and play it very well, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think what I've experienced a lot too is like where people expect you to be entertaining for them on stage in a way that men aren't expected to be. So it's like, why aren't you? Like friends of mine, male friends of mine have said, why don't you smile on stage? Like, why do you look so mean? And I'm like, really? Like, would you say that to your male friend? Like, and I look at watch male bands and I'm
I
like,
do.
it's which is fine, right? If you would say it to the same, you know what I mean, in the same sense, then fine, right? It's not a gender thing.
You're
But
supposed to be cute. Right, duh. Like, why aren't your tits hanging out as you're playing guitar, you know?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
How has this tour
Should be.
been in regards to that? Like, are things better than...
Well, it's only 3 days. Well, actually, we're going back to a venue that we also had some kind of experiences. Should I say?
Yes, you should say it.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
we had some kind of chauvinistic kind of things going on.
We're
And
coming for you.
we handled that. We handled that. You know, I just try to. Yeah, we have had some experiences.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But you know, it's funny too because outside of New York, like people say, "Oh, you know, you're a female bass player," but in New York, we're a dime a dozen. You'll be on a bill and like all five bands have female bass players. So in New York, it's not like a strange thing, but outside of New York, it seems to be. Yeah, it's.
Well, because New York is like the fucking melting pot of like everything.
Yeah.
People came in to that port
Mhm.
specifically to come here.
Yeah.
We don't often see women in music besides those who like come through here. There's like 2 bands off the top of my head in KenoSka that are girl bands. Chief Sleeves and Denoma, who is thus, I think, debunked, but she's a new band now. But that had a bass player who was a girl too. I don't often see them.
It's really common.
How did you get into that? How did you pick bass?
Okay, well, I've played other instruments for my life, but I've always wanted to learn how to play bass ever since high school when I was a little kid, but I never really just made the move. And then one time during the worst part of this, probably the worst time of my life, I needed something positive. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect time to dive in and, you know, learn to play and practice like 6 hours a day, and it really does save your life, you know, music, it's healing, it was the worst time of my life. And
But the
it got me
best
through,
time,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I mean, it
Are we gonna Charles
Saves it.
Dickens it? It was
Oh.
the best
Yeah.
at times, it was the
it was
worst at the
yeah,
times.
exactly.
Yay, literary
It was
references.
perfect timing, so.
And you do backup vocals as well.
Yeah,
How...
we didn't have a
I
microphone.
know, I'm
Listen,
sorry.
sorry.
It's my fault because I knew you didn't have everything, and
I
we
know.
probably couldn't have fit it anyway. So
It's
Yeah,
Very
how
tight.
has the logistics of tour been as far as space, travel? How's that going?
Lee's really like the Tetris master of the van. I've tried and just can't do
I
it.
just see spaces. I don't know. I'm like, why isn't this space used? And it gets, and I'm like, oh, put it in there.
You know, it's different each tour though, so it depends on the vehicle we have, so
Ah.
sometimes, you know, we have more rooms.
How do you get a vehicle? Do you guys rent one or like?
Unfortunately, we have to. I mean, Joey has a
Still
car,
one.
so we drove out from Detroit in his car. But we thought about getting a trailer hitch and stuff, but it just didn't make sense. So we rented one, which is why the whole tour cost comes up because we have to rent a vehicle.
Right.
But we rent this minivan. It's really great.
Love rental minivans.
Yeah.
They're always so
We just,
nice.
I know we're like beaming about this minivan.
Yeah.
Do you guys have
Sounds good.
stickers? do you have any stickers? Because you know minivans. That's like a thing. You put them on minivans.
I think we'd probably get charged up the wazoo if we put
Yeah.
on a rental van some
Yeah.
stickers.
You have to play. You could plausible deniability. You don't rent it, right?
That
With
car.
your band name.
Inside the car.
Yeah, it's
That
leaves
car's
all.
already that Dearborn car.
Yeah, it had some dents on it.
Yeah.
Cover up the dents with the stickers.
Yes.
Cruise
Argue
control
that it
doesn't
looks
work. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
a-
the best car.
Last time around, November, we had the best van ever. We named it. We loved her so much. And this one's like the ugliest.
A few times we got surprise upgrades and that was really nice.
Yeah.
So what does you like? Do you guys know about Punk Fest coming up?
Oh, in Milwaukee?
Yes.
I just applied. Put in
Yay!
the word for us. Yeah.
Yay, good. I was going to say now until March 15th, which is just next week, you have to submit for Milwaukee Punk Fest number 9, 9 Lives, the Niner. Yay!
When is it?
It is, oh God, August. I need my calendar. It's the last. We're doing the 30th and the 1st of September, I think. It's a 4-day festival, so it's that last few days in August into September. September 1st ends because that's a Sunday.
Cool.
So what would that be? 30th, 28, 29? Did I go backwards right?
I have no idea.
so.
Probably.
How many days are in August? Come on.
31.
Okay, so 1st, 31, 30, 29. From the 29th to September 1st. There we go.
We gotta get our application in, eh?
She's, yeah.
Just
I've got ours in. Yeah, you guys got it.
You applied for Bare Bones as well. Thank you.
But
Are you our manager?
I'm your female manager.
Thank you.
do you either of you have managers, and what are your feelings on like having a manager or paying somebody to promote you?
I think if we had the money for it, we'd do it,
That
eh?
would be sweet as hell.
Yeah.
No one wants to do this.
Well, I don't know if it's an epidemic in the Midwest, but lots of local bands are paying other people to like do their Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
cost of living in New York is very high.
Right!
Yeah, you cut that stuff out.
Right!
So-
When the struggle is real, motherfuckers
Yeah,
know how to do
you
things
do.
for free! I'm just
I don't even have a
saying.
paid Spotify account, and they made fun of me for that. But I'm like, listen, I'm in New York. I've got to like cut stuff out.
Right. I don't have Spotify.
Certain things are cheap, but certain things are very expensive.
So if Bare Bones wants in, by the 15th, you just go to mkpunkfest.com. There's a contact us, and you just say, "Hey, I heard about you on this show.
Well, can I
Here's our
pay
stuff."
you to?
Are you part of it?
Yes, we're the M.
Oh,
So wait, are we in?
I don't know. First off,
the
I'm
board?
not the,
Yeah.
do I want candy? What's in this candy? Do I get thrown in the van afterwards? I don't know what's happening. We just sticker her and put her in the van. We are the MC and host, so we will be doing
wow.
the, hey, we're Jess the Ska Kid live from Milwaukee Punk Fest, and we do the fest that way. And then we help coordinate bands to Josh. Josh is the coordinator of that whole event. He books everything, he schedules stuff. He's actually going to release the reins a little bit and let us help with picking bands for this next time, or so he says. We'll see. But he's in a band, if you've not heard of them, from Milwaukee called Billy Dreamer. And they are awesome, and I think would fit very well with both of your sounds.
You mentioned them to me actually. They were in touch with them. They just weren't available for Brennan. But yeah,
Right,
they're
because
cool.
what? They're something is going on tonight that they're not. I know that they're not available. I
Yeah.
think, but that just is a recent thing because he's busy as well as doing Punk Fest. They do little fests leading up to it. So anybody who wants to try to come through Milwaukee seems to reach out to Josh to do that. So that's what's going on with him. But hey, it's a fun fest. So what about New York? Do you guys play fests in New York, or how about in Michigan? This is weird talking about two different states.
Yeah, sorry. We don't have any fest coming up, do we?
No.
We have those two shows coming up. That's about it.
Where
We got a fest coming up in upstate New York, right? What's that thing?
Someone's wedding.
Someone's wedding.
Oh yeah, I know what it is.
He
It's
calls
like-
it a fest.
It's folk. No, it is. Sorry, it's like folk punk fest. They do folk bands and punk bands, and
You
It's in
know,
the middle
folk
of
punk
nowhere.
is its own genre, right?
there's some folk punk bands. So
Okay.
there's like
Yeah.
all three.
I
And
was in
then,
a folk punk band. I
Oh,
played
cool.
saxophone. They're called Humbugs. You can find us on Bandcamp.
Shout out.
and it's also a friend's wedding. Northside Festival in New York, I think, is dead this year, is what I heard. But that was always a really great one, all in North Brooklyn. We're playing a festival in Virginia called Mac Rock in Harrisonburg. Am I saying it right? Harrisonburg.
Harrison.
That's where it is. So yeah, so New York has, CMJ is dead, so the new stuff
It
pops
is
up.
dead.
So, yeah, so there's another one that just was happening like in Manhattan in the fall that we played. So there's a bunch.
What about starting your own?
It's a good idea. I was actually going to book my own Northside show this year because last year it got crazy, but now the Northside seems dead as well. So I was going to just put together not my own festival, but my own like lineup for that event.
Are pockets of New York dying as far as a music scene is concerned? It sounds like, as well as the like everything economy and water in Michigan, music's dead too. Like, what's happening?
We're also just dumb. Like, there might be a thriving music scene in Detroit that we don't, right? Is that fair?
I
Like,
think
I
it's
don't
a
know.
leap. I don't hear the opposite.
I don't know. Yeah, that's all.
We probably just don't push as hard as we should.
Sure, yeah.
Well, what's your
That's why we
goal
need
with
to
your
pay
group?
you to help us.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go do your own tour? Have you done your own tour?
We haven't done a tour not with Castle Black. No, there are You guys,
Even without us.
Like,
Yeah.
fine.
They haven't done their own Bare Bones on tour thing?
no, haven't.
So it should be Bare Bones and Castle Black? The next time?
That would mean that we would need to do the work and organizing it. And Lee's the one who does all the legwork and
You were
booking.
super helpful this time. So.
But,
I do
so,
about
when you
one
guys are gonna do
50th.
your own thing, who books for that? Or people asked you to play so you don't have to touch it?
That's mainly what it's been as of lately. It's just like a band will be touring into our city and they'll just discover us and just ask us to play. And it's pretty much been the gist of it lately.
What about upcoming underground bands that you guys have played with that you would like to give shout outs to?
Dirty DeVille's always one of my favorite.
Oh, I
local
love
band.
them.
Yeah.
They're so good. And then I don't know. I got to shout out Painted Shapes, Man vs. Mammoth, whatever that band is now.
Yeah.
They're always good.
The band we played with 2
Love.
weeks ago. I love that band.
We're in New York.
Yeah. Are we talking about Detroit or are we talking
Anywhere.
We were talking about anywhere.
Anywhere.
What do
Ape
you
Not
wanna
Kill
do?
Ape was one of my
There's so
favorite.
many.
Last
Ape Not-
night, Grand
yeah.
Rapids.
So
Ape Not
good.
Kill Ape. We played
So
them last
heavy.
night. They were awesome.
Yeah, New York, I have my favorite bands in New York we play with a lot.
Who?
I think the Raquels. I love the Raquels. Switchblade. There's, I mean,
We're
there's
gonna
just so
forget
many
people are gonna
on
get
there.
mad.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm
So
just having a
awful.
long history with them. And
They
so,
have to watch
you
the show to get mad.
That's
Well, that's true.
We should be mad
Which
at
means
it.
that you should be promoting it.
I
No?
know, yeah.
Wait,
You
so-
have to share it to the bands to get mad at so you start
Sure.
conjecture.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
The one,
Who's that really heavy
The
band
Gutter.
that you like?
yeah, the Gutter, but not.
Heavy
Heavy
Traffic.
Traffic.
Yeah.
I really like
Are they
them.
from Jersey?
They've played
Oh,
with
those
the
are
artist
my band.
formerly
No,
known
they're-
as Vince.
They were.
The Brooklyn band.
They were really. I really enjoyed them.
They're a Chicago band that goes out to New York every year and does something. It's November. He always does something out in New York.
Oh, the Kids Born Wrong in Louisville because we're playing with them again and they're awesome and just really sweet people, but their music is great.
Bad
Those-
Wires from Louisville
Bad
was
Wires
really
as
sweet
well.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, those
And also
hounds in
there's so much-
Detroit. Got to shout out those hounds. Always very good.
Pandies too.
So
Pandies.
Pandies for
Oh yeah.
when you guys are, what kind of music are we talking about? Like genres or anything like that? What? How would you describe these bands? Because you were like, we don't
Dark,
really-
heavy, menacing. This is my thing. Dark, heavy.
Glitter Grotto Band.
Yeah,
Glitter
Glitter
Grotto
Grotto
bands.
bands.
Yeah, Glitter Grotto bands.
What? What? I've never heard
Okay.
this term.
Glitter Grotto.
Well, there's no reason
I've
you
been having
wouldn't.
house
Yeah.
shows in my apartment. It's very.
She calls her apartment the Glitter Grotto.
Yeah.
And she has house shows there.
Just
Yeah.
a very specific sound in mind for who should play
Just
that.
like
Yeah.
sludge stoner rock.
Yeah,
That's pretty
like
much.
stuff. Yeah.
And now
What? We've never
But-
heard this. You need to send examples.
Yes.
Ape Not Kill Ape, Heavy Traffic, both
Okay.
both Glitter Grotto bands for sure.
I mean,
The Wardens. You'd like the
Eat,
Wardens.
the say a band that we had recently. Eats. I just feel bad because I have so many friends who play in so many bands I like. You know.
They're
But,
not watching the show.
but if you're talking about that sound,
But they should be.
this is
we're
what
mad
I'm
at them.
talking about.
Mad at them. Fuck them.
You're
So
right.
tell your friends, have them send stuff so that we can play it on our new Music Fridays. So to help with your free promotion stuff, every Monday we do Merch Monday.
Love
You
that.
take a picture of your merchandise, you post it on the Jess the Ska Kid page, you write a little snippet about it. Make sure to put a link to your band and then hashtag Merch Monday. Then we take it, drop it into all the groups that we're a part of. We have an album on the page itself. It gets all linked to our website. It goes into Instagram and onto Snapchat, and so everybody can see who the fuck we're talking about.
That's
Sweet.
awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So I know that we are at the top of the hour. Any last words that you would like the viewers to know about you folks? They can catch you tonight, Bremen Cafe. Be there at 8:30, Kay.
Sure.
You've got Dead Morticians, Video Dead, Bare Bones, and Castle Black. There is no cover. It is completely free, but buy their merch. And then you can catch them in Ohio tomorrow. Yay.
And beyond.
And you can catch them on Facebook. Who's got an Instagram? Raise your hand.
Bare Bones is on Instagram.
I'm back in Detroit
Castle
on the
Black is
24th.
Instagram.
I'm
So
back in the
starting in Detroit, ending in Detroit.
Gotcha.
Big circle. But
Yes.
not quite.
It's a
There you go.
it's
What is that?
calligraphy.
Sure is.
That's what it is. So Facebook, Instagram, websites, Bandcamp. Anybody got a SoundCloud?
No, Spotify. We're on Spotify.
We have SoundCloud.
Oh,
Castle Black's on SoundCloud. They're both on Spotify. And with that, I guess we will leave you into this good evening. Take the road less traveled. Tune in on Thursday. We have the Red Flags from Janesville, Wisconsin coming on, and continue to submit till the 15th of March for Milwaukee Punk Fest. Just released as of today as well. Punk the Burbs number 3 is happening and taking submissions till April 1st. So we got another fest to promote. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Come on and listen to Jess.